First team, he'll take over from Isco, or Rafael Varane will replace Dani Carvajal. Danilo Lopez gets us underway this second half of the Santiago Bernabeu. 3 goals for Real Madrid, courtesy of Mariano, James and Mariano. A late opening half goal by Irai Gonzalez to pull one back for Cultural Leonesa, but they trailed 10-2 on the aggregate. Still plenty of intrigue. And the kids are more than all right. Some of the standouts so far have been Tejero, Mariano, and Odegaard for this young Real Madrid side.
Just looking at the movement of young Enzo, you tell me he doesn't remind you of his dad. And you take a look at just his gait sometimes. And again, the style points. 9 pair of shoulders on the lad, I'll tell you that.
A couple of assists from Dani Carvajal in that first half, assisting both Mariano and James before coming off. And so this, as well, get a confirmation just now, but it likely signals that Nacho will move to left back. Tejero will move to right back, and Varane lines up next to Pepe. Here come La Cultural. Diaz, they offer Benha. Cristobal, user for the Mallorca youth product, Alex Gallar. This is Bastos. Gallar, who's lost the gloves for the second half. Things getting a little warmer at the Bernabeu after the 4-goal first half. Good diagonal switch. Here's Gallar. Excellent control. Nacho. Good ball forward. Bastos rolls it back. Benha! Well, 2 players attacking it. Benha gets there first.
I think there's 3, Andres.
Tony V,
3
the other.
Yep, they're all converging on this. Like Ian Phelan's do a magnet. Beautiful build-up. There's a tremendous switch of play. This one's pulled back. There's 3 players. Either one of them could take a look at it. It's like a flock of flamingos flying in. Unlucky.
Lucky their legs are not in a knot, but it did look as though Tony Villa got the worst of it. He was salivating at the thought of a Bernabeu goal.
Yeah, it would have been a wonderful way to start the second half for us all. Real Madrid fans included, make it an interesting contest. Had that been levelled down to a 1-goal lead in this game, of course.
Of Mallorca youth, it was at Mallorca where Marco Asensio, more of a breakout season. His return to Santiago Bernabeu. This is James. Pepe. Been skipping past one challenge. In fact, it is Alvaro Tejero who's moved to his more natural position of right back. Nacho lines up at left back. Pepe and Varane, the 2 central defenders in a 4-3-3. It's Bastos. Irai. A wonderful goal in first half stoppage time. Angel Bastos. He clears up for La Cultural. The beauty of this game, it was virtually done and dusted after that 7-1. So La Cultural could come here and play their football without being too concerned with the result.
Fine display, nicely.
2 defenders, Tony Villa pushed off by Tejero. Not enough to draw the whistle. Danilo Lopez. There's James. Enzo. Mariano has it poked away by Garrido. And he does have that posture of his father, Enzo Zidane.
Doesn't he?
Straight upright.
Yeah. Nicely involved in that setup. Here's the claims for a pen.
It's been 3,852 days since Zinedine Zidane's last game for Real Madrid. Now it's Enzo playing his first. Mariano magnetizes the ball, taken down, but incidental contact. Odegaard goes one to win it back. Here's James. Nacho. Looking for an opening. Nacho squirts through and palmed wide by Leandro. He was always going wide, but he could not take the chance.
Again, Odegaard for me. This wonderful ball that's played in there. We just see the end result as Mariano tries to fight off the defenders. He's being held. There's a real WWF tussle there, but what a pass by Odegaard again. It was him that kept it alive the second time. Well played.
That looks familiar from Enzo.
Yeah.
Give them all away.
I wonder if his dad will be driving him home. Imagine sitting in there, just like you do, and he's sitting, and his dad will be telling him, what you doing, trying to be like your dad.
21 years old. You would think that maybe his dad has donated an Audi that they get every year, perhaps, to young Enzo.
Yeah.
Named after the great Enzo Francescoli.
Oh, what a player. What a player.
River Plate team in the late 90s.
Sure. Had the pleasure of meeting him many times when I worked at Goal TV. The great Enzo Francescoli. What a player.
Looked a bit like Diego Milito. Yeah, he's taken away by James. Number 10 against number 10. And here's Rafael Varane. Seemed to lose a little bit of clout in the Zinedine Zidane version of Real Madrid. Zidane has preferred Pepe alongside Ramos.
For now. But this man is the future.
He's 23 years old, Varane.
These knees can stay healthy. Lovely switch from James.
Tejero. Odegaard. Scoop forward Odegaard. Nearly perfect. What a cross in, looking for Mariano. Barely able to get there is Bastos doing just enough.
Again, virtuoso play here from Odegaard to set up this final cross into the box. And Odegaard's wonderful silky skill goes unnoticed, but not by me. Love this kid. And it's his quickness. And here's the Zidane abracadabra, and just scoots away from him, but beautiful in its failure.
First substitution for the visiting side as Benha makes way, and the man coming on is Gianni. Gianni, who had the unfortunate own goal to open the scoring in the first leg. 5 minutes in. The Dutchman is the first substitution at the Bernabeu for the visiting side. Zirai. I mean, Tony Villa is the lone center forward for this one, as Gianni is a defensive player. Here's Garrido. Cesar gets it wide. Cesar was born in Barcelona, but not picked up by any of the big clubs in the Catalan capital. James. Plenty of space for the Colombian. Asensio. Looping cross, and all Real Madrid players there to meet it. Easy for Leandro in the end. Garrido. That's exactly right. Gianni is slotted in as a third central defender. Leonesa had gone to a back three with Garrido, Cesar, and Gianni.
He's one of the most experienced players for all of Leonesa as well. Gianni, Rivaloon. One time at Herenveen, West Bromwich Albion. They'll have picked up lots of lumps in Mallorca, Den Haag.
One approach this time, looking for Jorge Ortiz, the former Zaragoza youth. Nacho. Asensio. This is Casemiro. Therefore, a dribbling forward for Casemiro. He's bumped from behind by Jorge Ortiz. And a quick restart for James. Odegaard. Odegaard fires just wide of the near post. Leandro Just watching it flash wide.
And look at the wonderful control, skill, touch, hesitation, and then tries to find that bottom corner and see where he's aiming. And very impressive young footballer that we're watching here, 17-year-old. I have underwear older than that.
And a rich 17-year-old as well.
Yeah.
A very lucrative contract, and when you're sought after by so many of the biggest clubs on the planet, it's going to take something special to sign you.
Yeah. Real Madrid never shy about writing out the big checks, but that was one for the record books for such a young prodigy.
Well, even Danilo Lopez getting a touch. Here's Tony Villa.
Nicely.
Two defenders, brilliant from Villa. Casemiro goes to ground and he pokes it away.
Yep.
Touch from Asensio. Odegaard. He's confident in traffic. Odegaard is possessed by Gianni.
5 players tracking him down, drawing gasps from the crowd. He tried to get that final touch past the 5th one, but not quite. Give him time. Give him time.
Casemiro's won it back. Mariano heard the footsteps, reacted quickly. Just Enzo.
And if you didn't know that he was Zidane's son, who would he remind you of? I mean,
Forward looking for Mariano.
So
flick back
carbon copy. It's scary.
You won't find it in the stats book, but there's Amadelos Lopez's first touch of the game, the referee. Yeah. Gianni. Bastos.
Different players, Andres, but I remember seeing Antoine Griezmann in his early days for Sociedad, and it's just something about players that you can identify. And this Odegaard has the same sort of wonderful floating real skill. It's just a delight to watch. Now, it may not work out for him. We all hope it does, but it is, by the looks of what I've seen for one of the few times I've seen him play for an extended amount of time, looks a special footballer. As I said, totally different to Griezmann, but there's an ingredient in players, and maybe Enzo will be another one that'll continue to develop. Look at that.
Odegaard, brilliant touch to settle and found Enzo. Castilla teammates.
Well recovered.
It's Tejero who's marking now.
Left short by Odegaard that time.
Played to combine there. Cristobal, he gave the ball away, and there's James with a brilliant turn. Ball forward for Mariano, who's got the foot speed. Off his line is Leandro. Mariano losing his footing. Still a chance to cross, and Gianni comes across to deny him.
Well, they'll love listen to this applause for this kid here now. They'll love that as much as his dynamite finish and his wonderful goals. That tenacity, that drive, they'll love that more than anything. The Madridistas, the endeavour, the industry. It sounds strange, but I've talked to enough people that are real hardened Real Madrid fans that they'll take all of the other stuff, but that comes first and foremost. Well, they've got it everything with this Mariano Diaz. He's got the lot.
Such bright lights of the Bernabeu and Real Madrid with their 11 European titles. It is really easy to forget sometimes that the ticket holders, the miembros, they are very much about that effort.
For sure.
Madrid.
Yeah.
It's the reason so many of these superstars have been whistled at this stadium.
Good point, Anders.
Going back by Gianni. This is Garrido. Madrid continue to press in the opposition's half. So used to it in Spain, it almost goes unnoticed, but every goalkeeper in Spain is happy to have the ball passed back to them.
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it beautiful?
Pepe. Tejero. That includes includes Kiko Castilla, who we haven't seen much today.
Have their diapers made of big red cloth, just like the bullfighters, of course, the goalkeepers. So they do make a bit of a mess here. Ole.
Working on what would be his 32nd official match without a defeat, Zinedine Zidane.
This young man still working at his game as well, doing what good coaches do, trying to coach against the White Storm.
He's not just older than him, Ray. He's 2 years older than him.
Wow.
Just a goal scorer. Yeray. Villa. Bastos. Garrido.
Nicely. Hey.
Bastos. It is all in the defensive half, but it's beautiful passing from Cultural, and it's over now as Mariano plays it forward. Asensio putting in his shift to get there. He won't. The way that he has handled this job, Zinedine Zidane, when he came in, not just that he wasn't Rafa Benitez and that he managed to turn Real Madrid's, let's call it distressed locker room, into a happy one, but I've seen key players throughout the campaign plugging in. Some of the youngsters like Kovacic and Asensio. Morata, who's been spectacular since returning from his college education at Juventus, if you will.
Yeah, it might be a new vintage in stock, but the seller's looking pretty good from here for Real Madrid. And as you say, Andres, this manager is allowed the time, which is the most precious of situations at Real Madrid. But if he has, seeing these players come through, folding them in gradually.
This is Madrid, where even winning the Champions League doesn't buy you that much credit. Ancelotti was fired after winning La Decima. Enzo!
Magic!
Enzo Zidane is on the board for Real Madrid. It's Madrid 4.
The kids line up and they're saying, let's put on a show. It's Mariano and Odegaard and then a wonderful Enzo. Beautiful finish, but again, pinpoint passing from the kids. One touch, movement, and the white shirts are looking out and saying, hey, who's this Ronaldo kid? Do we need him? Look at this. This is a beautiful display of football. One touch, Odegaard keeps it rolling. Beautiful feedback from the kids. Stay in the picture. The kids light it up. It's beautiful bloody football is what it is, man.
And on his competitive debut in front of the Santiago Bernabeu crowd, they're chanting Enzo.
What the subtlety of his finish, the change of directions. This isn't any slingshot. When we look at it again, people, he's not lifting it, he's passing it just like Papa. Puts Leandro on his back like a turtle, but wonderful coolness. Cool like a polar bear's backside was Enzo. And I'll tell you what, I think he'll get a free tank of gas from his dad on the drive home in that Audi.
Here is Enzo. Nacho. 3 Castilla products, or 3 Castilla players currently who linked up on that goal. Garrido comes across to push Nacho off the ball. Extra touch from Cristobal. Let's get it across, but back in possession now through Tejero is Real Madrid. 4 goals on 6 shots on target for Los Blancos. Asensio. Composed. Still Asensio. Can't take it off him. Odegaard. Enzo. Enzo looking for a second. Enzo! Blocked by Garrido. A little shove as well. Looks like a player from another era. Casemiro. Asensio. Tejero. Casemiro. Over the head of the captain Victor Diaz, who's back to collect for La Cultural.
Nice play again. They don't panic. A lovely team working it out. It's not going to get them any points, any win here tonight, but the manner in which Ruben de la Barrera has got them playing is very impressive as well against one of the powerhouses.
They have 14 wins in their last 16 games coming into this one. James. Nacho. Odegaard. Casemiro. Pepe. Tejero. Excellent ball. Mariano's in front of it and just wide as he was closed down by Leandro. Well, he's looking for his hat-trick, Mariano Diaz. Ball forward and it's picked up by Ortiz. The return pass, Tony Villa to touch for La Cultural. Garrido. Wasn't an attempt to be more defensive, bringing on Gianni for Benham. Quite the opposite. It was three at the back so they can get more players forward on the wings.
Yeah.
Cultural Leonesa.
And they have been a lot more vibrant in that front of that back three when they've had the opportunities to push up from the flanks. But again, this white team have been tactically drawn up as well, and they are sticking to their guns. It's not been a case of just go out and have a good fun time, boys. It's really good football and a nice match with some wonderful stars that's starting to twinkle very, very brightly in white. We all have favourites, Sanders. It's undeniable, but there's a couple of players out there in those white shirts that I cannot wait to see more of in their brilliant futures. Yeah, maybe.
Bastos. Good ball forward.
Nicely.
There's a chance for Ortiz.
Good play.
Squeezes it across. And there was Tejero to put out the fire as Alex Gallardo was making the run to the back post.
Well, this is well read by young Alvaro. He's got extenders, the minute of legs to get to that again. Boys pretty in pink, playing nice. Nice football.
I don't know if you believe in destiny or not, Ray, but Enzo on his competitive debut scores his first goal with his first shot of his Real Madrid career. Ball in, but dealt with by Casemiro. Shot to the near post. Kiko Casilla forced into a save.
Scale.
Again by Ortiz.
Nicely.
Fired that shot. Oh, ball in. Garrido able to settle. Casemiro takes it away. And here comes Enzo. Left it behind Asensio.
Not there because of the name, this youngster, is he? It's because of what's in those boots and under that black hair as well. Football and brain.
Zinedine Zidane scored 49 official goals for Real Madrid. And combined the Zidanes, they're up to 50. Good hit as well from Alex Gallardo to test Kiko Casilla. Double double substitution. Or is it just one? It looks as though Alex Gallardo will make way, so just the one sub. And that is Abdullah.
He's one of the Qataris, if I'm not mistaken.
The second substitution for De La Barrera. This is Gianni, who had come on as a second half substitute, who seems to be favoring his right thigh. Indeed, that is Abdullah ready to check in with the number 15 shirt. Four Qatari players on this roster, but the only one that made the active 16-man team today. Will Gianni be able to continue, or maybe the man to make way? It looked as though Alex Gallardo was ready to check out as came over to the fourth official, but they may be forced to make an injury substitution here as well. And indeed, he was subbed in only a few minutes ago, Gianni, but he'll make way as Abdullah checks in. It's an additional midfielder in for La Cultural. Abdullah Abdusalam. Out of the final 20 minutes at the Bernabeu. "23 seconds in, Mariano Diaz opened the scoring. 23rd minute, James connected on a cross from Carvajal. Carvajal then set up Mariano's second in the 42nd. Yeray pulled one back for La Cultural. And then Enzo Zidane. 3 minutes past the hour, minute 4 for the Merengues. "18 minutes onto his Real Madrid career. Renzo.
Be a little surprised if we've seen the end of the goals as well. What's remaining in this game?
For either side, it looks as though Cultural be knocking on the door again.
Absolutely. Nice attacking play again.
This is Ortiz. Didn't see Casemiro, he was hidden in the grass. Defensive positioning has been one of the reasons that he's been so influential for Real Madrid. Casemiro, he always pops up in the right places. Nacho. James. Casemiro. To Varane. Pepe. Tejero. A little bit of air out of the ball now, Real Madrid. Nacho. James under pressure from Garrido. He's pulled the center back all the way out in the midfield. Here's Enzo. Nacho. James. Once again, all of Real Madrid's field players in the opposition half. Odegaard, controlled by Tejero. To the middle, Asensio trying to get there. Instead, it's a substitute, Abdullah, with his first touch. In the second, it's taken away by Tejero. Pepe. James. James on his left. Nacho, a chance to cross. They're queuing up. Nacho's cross to the back post. Asensio. Excellent touch pass Villa. Tejero. Been impressed with his fullback, both playing on the left and on the right today. Chance for Enzo to keep it in play. Leandro pouncing on the loose ball.
There's to slide this one back towards the onrushing Mariano. Good effort to get to that ball at the dead ball line. That's my boy.
Proud Papa.
I tell you, got to give full credit to this crowd as well. I mean, they've been up for this game. like it's the, I wouldn't say the Classico, but they've been really into this game all game long and continual. All full credit to the
Real Madrid board as well for making the tickets, just say, accessible. Odegaard, brilliant pass to Odegaard into the 18. Enzo. De Hero. Cross takes a deflection. Leandro's there to punch it away from James. Odegaard challenging in the air. Won by Ortiz. This is Gallardo. Deflected off Casemiro once more and safely back for Kiko Casilla. There are players on this team, Ray, that could be very comfortably starting for teams in the top flight of Spanish football. Kiko Casilla, Mariano Diaz, Marco Asensio.
Yep.
So a goalkeeping substitution as Kiko Casilla will make way. And it's Ruben Yanez who will check in, the 23-year-old Castilla goalkeeper.
Nice.
Third and final substitution for Zidane.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the physical nature of Kiko. Pretty sure. And a nice new look for another fresh face coming through the Castilla for the fans to see what you got. One thing, Andres, that I look at the number 10 closing down, the man from Envigado, one of my favourite players, James Rodriguez, staying in this game a long time. So by that indication, wouldn't expect him to be a component on Saturday's big ding-dong.
Certainly not in the starting 11.
Yeah.
We'll go the full 90. Ortiz. Abdullah. Cristobal. Abdullah. Lead off for Diaz. Cristobal. Oh, unlucky link-up looking for Abdullah was Villa.
By the same token, can you imagine Casemiro starting in the Classico, because he's looks like he's going to last the full 90. Some interesting poker going on there.
Legs might be a little fresher. Well, for both, really. James as well. Pepe. What a Classico this is going to be. Chance for Real Madrid to really take a stranglehold in La Liga. Nacho crossed in a little bit early. Cesar, who was back there, giving away to Nacho. Nice. A chance to make it 5 for Real Madrid. Nacho with his back to goal.
Nice.
Leaves it for Asensio. Chip to the back post. Oh, he stings the post. Alvaro Tejero. Lovely volley from the fullback.
Yeah, thought he was just going to drop this one for Odegaard, but he pulls the trigger, and who can blame him? Good vision, as always. Asensio puts it on a beautiful altar, and he gives this one a good red-hot crack, and it is 2 inches away from finding the inside. Leandro's in that post.
Recovery from Odegaard. Enzo. Well, his decision-making has been absolutely perfect, Enzo Zidane. Asensio.
Again, you know, we'll see
double for Isco, Marco Asensio.
We'll see the tempo raised when these young players come up against the bigger, brighter, hotter teams in La Liga, but...
Well, this is their level, though, Ray. The Madrid-Castilla team plays in the Segunda B, and this is a Cultural Leonesa team that are unbeaten in Group 1, comfortably in front of Racing Santander.
Of course, I understand, but when they come up against the likes of Sevilla...
Primera time.
Yes, that's going to be the harshest test, but they'll look as if they're up to it.
Asensio, dealt with by Bastos. He's a man who's worked very hard today. Mariano Diaz.
Everything about him, his build, his haircut, he just looks a proper footballer. From Spanish born, as we've said, Dominican Republic. Oh, What a good
ball into the edge of the 6, and Casemiro just misjudged it.
And there's a confidence about him, isn't there? In the same way as you mentioned before about Martin Odegaard. Just coming out of the ear holes.
You put on that white shirt, you better have some confidence.
Yep. Especially in this place, or they'll let you know about it, no matter whose son you are.
Well, Asensio did enough to keep it in play, given away by Ortiz.
Well played.
One back by Nacho, danger again for La Cultural. James lets it away. Asensio. Big feet from James Rodriguez. Odegaard.
It's the quickness of the decision from this blonde kid. Takes me.
He doesn't dwell on the ball, does he?
No. There's no fat on his game at all.
Here he is again.
Look at that.
Enzo hangs around both legs. Enzo still gets it wide, but can't link up with
Tell you what, Andres, he's covered a lot of ground as well. He's an energetic player, Odegaard. And you can see he covers that distance with seemingly effortless style. And I like the manner in his acceleration off of the ball as well. He's a good supporting player athletically.
Well, this is a warm reception for Antonio Martinez, who's about to check in. And check that it's Jaime Moreno, who's ready to come in as a third and final substitution for the visiting side. And it's Jorge Ortiz who will make way.
I think a lot of the reaction, of course, is for some idiot who came on and did a terrible Cristiano Ronaldo impersonation and being arrested, and he put me down in the cellar below the stadium. I've been there. It's not a nice place. But just as a visitor, don't look at me like that. Just I was on the tour.
Wouldn't put it past you, Ray.
Actually, one of the security guards takes a tumble as well as they're trying to arrest this nutcase who comes on, and he makes a bad slip as well. He'll not want to see that in the replay. But entertainment again.
Over the head of Nacho, out to touch for Real Madrid. Nacho. Asensio, picked up by Bastos. Cristobal does well to get it into the middle. And Moreno. Abdullah. Two substitutes link up.
Right.
Odegaard. Mariano. Maybe starting to get a little tired. Gaillard. Options to cross into for Alex Gaillard. They keep it on the ground. It's falling kindly for Yeray, the goal scorer. Thought he might have had a second, but had his pocket picked by Enzo. And here comes James. It's ball for Asensio to catch up to. Numbers pouring forward for Real Madrid. Asensio has Odegaard. Get on the first time. What's the only thing missing from his game today?
Yeah, brave effort that he will like. That confidence, unhesitant. It's short of the target. Let's see how far away it is. That's well high, but you can see he's got that angle down right. Just not the trajectory. That ground he covered again in full support. Leggy player.
Abdullah. It's Jaime Moreno, kid, the last substitution. Just 21 years old, the Venezuelan. On loan from Malaga. He's part of the Atletico Malagueño system. Good turn by Villa in front of Odegaard. It's Tony Villa. Cross from the substitute Moreno. Odegaard skips past the challenge of Abdullah. Asensio. There's Nacho. Just over 5 minutes left of the 90. Mariano. To thread the needle, Abdullah was on alert. Mariano will be whistled for the foul.
And as we look at the contrast of these two clubs, one arguably the greatest club in footballing history, and this little tiny team like Cultural Leonesa, basically a part-time club, weren't they, for so long, and suffered terrible financial straits, and been rescued by the Qatar Aspire's own foundation. But mighty Ibar, Anders, showed that you can build from those modest roots and, you know, survive here. And this team has a look about them over the long term that I don't know if it'll be too long before we see them in the Primera.
Well, we could see them in the Segunda next season, the way this current campaign is going.
Sure.
For De La Barrera's men. Nacho whistled for the foul as the arm comes across the face of Alex Gallar. Up next, they'll return to Segunda B action in Group 1. Cultural Leonesa will be on the road to face off against Lealtad. After that, they'll take on Real Valladolid's reserve team and Osasuna's reserve team in their next 3 games. Today, it's the bright lights of the Santiago Bernabeu. Gallar, good ball to the back post. Oh, just wide of the mark. It was a substitute, Jaime Moreno.
Good effort by Jaime. Fades away from his defender, that is Pepe, and very difficult header as he's fallen back and away from it, but gives it the old college try. Admirable.
All out of the back, neat touch as well. He can keep it in play here, Nacho, and he's done so. Mariano wants it back. Nacho. Mariano finding a pocket of space. Mariano looking for an opening. Mariano! Carried wide by Leandro. Tejero. Another good cross, and there's Mariano to complete the hat trick. He started the action. He may as well have finished it.
Again, the kids scored disco, as they should. Wonderful Mariano. And they know they've got it good in here. Teeth like a Steinway piano and feet like a Stradivarius. Beautiful strike. Well saved by Leandro. But this one, again, everything right. Everything that you want to see in a penalty box predator. Believe me, we've seen these missed. And he puts it down where it should be. Not wide on target, but he goes down with that V. And that's a beautiful finish from a man who's going to be waking up to big headlines tomorrow. Mariano Diaz. The cat's meow.
3 shots on target, 3 goals to complete the hat trick. He's got an assist as well on Enzo's goal. It's been Mariano's day. Casemiro goes to ground to win it back. Here's James. Asensio. Nacho. Nacho. Heavy for James. But he's won it back to Colombian. A chip toward the back post, looking for Mariano. Picked up by Diaz.
Let's give some congratulations to La Cultural Leonesa and their coach as well for providing a game for these people to really enjoy, and us all. This has been a game where Real Madrid's superstar, world-class players from the subs bench and these prodigious young talented footballers have been forced to work and play their way. This game was over before the game was kicked off. It's 7-1 shellacking, of course, but Leonesa have done their part and showed that they're going to be around for a while.
They've gone 16 games unbeaten in the Segunda B, and I think we can see flashes of why. Here's Odegaard showing flashes of his own.
They've caused problems for Real Madrid at times.
Nacho, early cross, and it's in the back of the net. Another own goal. It was an own goal that opened the scoring in the first leg. This time it's Cesar Morgado. It makes it 6 for Real Madrid.
They don't deserve this one. This is sad. Good link-up attack, but Poor Ruben there. Alabarera sees poor Morgado try to shut this down on its way to, well, what would have been another one for Mariano. Odegaard pulls up and sees this one get painted in by the defender. Tough break, tough luck.
13-2 on the aggregate now. 2 of the 13 scored by La Cultural players. 90 minutes expire. Just 2 minutes added on, a minimum 2 minutes of stoppage time. Still Real Madrid are pressing. Enzo Zidane. His namesake. Not sure he'll mind that
no
slip of the tongue.
Well, Freudian slip.
He gets it away. It's picked up by Odegaard. And Real Madrid looking for a 7th. Odegaard. Wide to Enzo. 4 players forward for Madrid. 4 players back for La Cultural. Work from Enzo, but it won't reach to Hero. You think Zidane will be mad at him for that?
Nah, let the boys play. Absolutely. Again, wonderful dexterity of feet. That wonderful connection between the eyes to the brain to the feet. Bring it on. Give us more.
This is not going to do much to calm the Enzo Zidane hype train today.
Yeah, well said. How old is he now, Andres?
21.
21. Start shaving in a couple of years, he'll be fine.
And there's another son at Real Madrid Castilla. And there is the final whistle at the Bernabeu. It's Real Madrid 6, Cultural Leonesa 1. A great performance from the Segunda Best side, but it's Real Madrid who move on.
Entertaining game that showed us the promise of magic that lay awaits and ahead of us all in the Real Madrid shirts. And upstairs for Cultural Leonesa, their fans had a good time at the